Hello, and welcome to the Kaa Table Actions tutorial. In this video, I will explain what table actions are and how to apply them in your Kaa dashboard. To understand table actions, it will help if you already know a bit about asset management and rule engine. I can't really cover table actions without mentioning these tools. So if you're new to them, check the links in the description to learn more. So, why do we need table actions? Table actions are primarily used to trigger rules, just like asset actions. The difference is that table actions let you trigger a specific rule for multiple items at once, or even run the rule without selecting any items from the list. You can find table actions in the settings of several different widgets, which you can see on the screen. And that's all you need to know about table actions. Now I will show you how to apply them. For this lesson, I will use the Asset List widget that we built in my Asset Actions video. In the widget settings, I will add a new table action. There are a few settings available, and we will go over them in more details a bit later. For now, the most important field is the rule ID. This is where we specify the rule we want to execute when the action is clicked. So we have to create a rule. For that, let's open the rule engine. I'll make a simple increment rule. This rule will just increase the counter of a chosen office asset by 1. Let's take a look at the JavaScript code. It takes an array of office IDs and loops through them. For each office ID, we request its office object according to the Kaa API. To send requests, I am using the Rule Engine built-in toolbox. The main feature of this toolbox is that with this platform true option, it allows us to run requests without an API token. The check response status function shows the result and makes sure it's correct. In the loop, we extract values from each office asset and use the increment function to update the counter. You can get this code on GitHub by following the link in the description. We have successfully created the increment rule, and we can apply it to create a new table action. But for this code to work, we need to provision it with an array of office IDs. To do that, in the widget, I'll open role settings and choose selectable roles. You'll see checkboxes appear next to each item in the list. The array of selected assets is saved into a dashboard variable. I will name it selectedAssets. Also, make sure that update variable on select option is checked, otherwise it won't work. Then I scroll back down to table actions and provide the dashboard variable to the code. Important note, if variable didn't appear in your drop-down menu, that means that variable didn't create. To fix that, try to save widget and return to settings, or select any of the items in your asset list widget. It should appear afterwards. I bind the selected assets variable to office IDs to pass the value to the role. Let's save the widget and test it out. To test rules, I am using Rule Engine's traces feature. You can learn more about it from our documentation. Links are in the description. As you can see in the traces, we get confirmation that everything works fine, and the counter increases as expected. We can also reuse the increment rule to create a decrement table action. In the rule, I will add an action parameter, which is a string, and it can be either increment or decrement. The logic inside increment function I will change to handle both increment and decrement actions. And also, I will rename increment function and the rule to change counter. Back in the dashboard, I am adding two dashboard variables, increment and decrement. These variables will just be constant strings. To specify constant, I am using expression option as a source. Then I'm provisioning this constant to my new decrement table action. I have to provision each variable for each table action separately. We could have also copied the increment rule and made a second separate decrement rule, but it's easier to maintain the dashboard with fewer rules. Now we can test decrement rule. And it seems to be working fine. Let's add one more button. With this action we will be able to add new offices, just like we do it in asset management. To input office details we need a form, which we can create with Form Schema. It's based on React JSON Schema Form 1.6, but the Kaa platform adds a few features to it, which I will show later in this video. In Form Schema we have three options. The first two tabs are responsible for the JSON schema. JSON schema defines the expected data structure, types, and validation rules for the form. The last option is UI schema. UI schema used alongside JSON schema to control the presentation, behavior of forms, and our custom extensions. In short, JSON schema defines what data to collect, and UI schema defines how to collect it. Let's add a few basic office fields, like name, location, and counter. In the JSON view, I'm specifying a default value for the counter. And in the UI schema, I'm adjusting the location field to make it look better in our form. Let's check how the form looks so far. It doesn't work yet, because we haven't attached any rule to the table action. We're missing one more value, which is required to write a rule for our action. According to the Kaa API, to create a new office asset, we need to specify the asset type. To get the asset type, I'm going to Asset Management, Asset Types. From the list, I'm selecting Office Asset Type and copying the Asset Type ID from URL. Now we can open Dashboard Variables, and here I'm adding a new variable, which will store my asset type. Back in the widget, I'm provisioning this variable under form value binding. Okay, so we have our form. Now we can add a rule. I already have my rule engine open, so I create a new add office rule. Let's look at the code. In the first lines, we extract the office object, asset type, and the tenant ID. The tenant ID is included in the CTX object by default, and it's used in many different Kaa requests. The CTX object is used in almost every rule and deserves its own video, but for now you can learn more about it from our documentation. Next, I collect all the asset data and pass it to the request body. Lastly, I validate the response. Moving a bit forward, I've already applied the rule to the table action, and it's working well. But there is still one more thing is missing. Office asset can include multiple endpoints, but right now our form and rule don't support that. To fix the issue, the form should pull data from the Kaa platform and load its fields with options that the user can pick. I'm starting from the widget. There I'm adding a new field. It will contain an array of selected endpoints. Then in the UI schema, I'm specifying how the sensor field should look. The most important field here is the transformation. The transformation is where we define what data to fetch. And transformation has three fields: dataset, select, and updates. In dataset, we specify what we want to fetch. Here you will need to provide the application name from which you want to select endpoints. You can find it under Device Management, Applications. In select, we define variable and assign them the endpoint IDs and names we need. We can also filter out the endpoints we don't need. Lastly, in updates, we load our form with the variables we defined in select. I know this part may be a bit confusing. It's another topic that deserves its own video, but for more details, you can check our documentation, which also includes a few additional examples on UI schema and JSON forms. After the update, we can now select endpoints from our form. Lastly, we need to update the rule so that it attaches the endpoints we've selected to a new asset. Let's take a look at what has changed in the code. In the section where I define all variables, I extract the sensors array from the CTX object and define an arrow object. Further down, I call the createAsset function, which returns an asset ID. If the asset ID is not null, the code loops through all sensor IDs and attaches each one to the newly created asset. If something goes wrong during the process, such as connection issue, the code attempts to delete the asset and then returns an arrow object. With this update, the form in our dashboard now behaves almost the same as it does in asset management. So to test it, I'm creating an Office 5 asset with 2 endpoints attached to it. As you can see, the new Office was added successfully. In Rule Engine traces, we can look at the output and everything looks correct. Now, when I navigate to the Office 5 page, you can see the 2 endpoints. You can also verify in Asset Management that endpoint 1 and 9 appears there as well. So that's everything I wanted to show you about table actions. All the code and materials for this video are available in the description, along with other useful links. I hope this tutorial was helpful to you and gave you an idea of how to build dashboards on the Kaa platform. Leave your questions in the comments and thank you for watching.